Welcome to the Forward Focused Flashcast, bite-sized episodes designed to help you become a more effective and well-rounded leader with quick tips that you can implement right away. I'm your host, Jon Reusch, and in today's episode, we're talking about the 3 things that you need to do that could make all the difference when you make a new hire in your company. So you've gotten to a point in your business where you need help. Yay. Now what do you do, right? You finally find somebody that you feel is going to add value to your company. Maybe you have an alignment in how you think. Your values are the same, but they're bringing new ideas or strategies to help you grow. I have found that there's 3 things you must do to be able to ensure success and maximize the return on that relationship. The first thing, and this is probably most important, let them know that there's no such thing as a dumb question. It comes down to communication. It comes down to a communication cadence. When you come into our world at Forward Focus, we encourage that you set up a regular cadence of communication for at least the first 3 to 4 months, at least a minimum, where you're meeting weekly and you're going over the big things they need to be doing in their role to succeed at the highest level. So you know that you want to have a clear cadence of communication. So the first thing that you need to do for communication is this: set up a regular time for you to meet, and you hold that meeting no matter what. If you must move the meeting, you schedule it out in advance to a new date and time that you both agree upon. So let's say your meetings are always Wednesday at 2:00. You hold that meeting as best as you possibly can. And you'll set up a system that before that meeting, here's what both people coming into the meeting are going to provide. Maybe there's reports, maybe there's numbers, statistics that you're going to go over with your new hire, and eventually you're going to train the new hire to bring those numbers to your meeting, right? But you're going to role model that first and show that. So the cadence and communication is so key because it's all about expectations. It's all about standards and knowing what to expect when I sit down on our one-on-one on a weekly basis. Number 2, super clear goals of how this person wins in the role over the next 6 months. Whether it's numbers that they must achieve in dollars or transactions or new products, whether it's maybe growth targets that they're responsible for if they're overseeing other people in the organization. Super clear goals, right? And a plan to train them up and get them to that plan. So here's what you need to see in the first 30 days, then the next 30 days, then the next 30 days. And at the end of each month, we're sitting down and saying, okay, how do you feel? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 would be that you're absolutely crushing in the role. 1, this isn't for me, I don't feel comfortable, right? And then anything in between. If they're giving a number and you're giving a number based on the performance, now there's no surprises 3, 4, 5, 6 months into this if it is or isn't working. We're trending towards success. And so that's key, is getting super clear on breaking down that bigger goal. What do I do in the first 30 days, next 30 to work toward that goal? As a leader, you want to see progress, not perfection. You're putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into this new hire, this new relationship. Understand that it's your job to train, coach, and consult them to the level of proficiency. They're not going to plug in day 1 and just be this rock star for you, but they can grow into that with clear accountability and clear goals to achieve, which leads me to my 3rd point. Here's the 4-step process. When you sit down in your weekly meetings, here's the 4-step process that you want to include in your dialogue. You always start by asking them, so what was our goal? Where are we in relation to that goal? Knowing the relation to that goal, what must we do differently, or what must we do to continue being on track? As your leader, how can I help? What's the goal? What's the gap to the goal? Knowing that we have this gap, or knowing that we might be on track, what do we got to do to continue that? Make up the gap, stay on track. Number 4, as your leader, how can I help? When you follow that rhythm, it's a cadence, it's a system, right? your employee, your hire, is going to feel, wow, okay, I can routinely expect Jon to show up in this sit down, this one-on-one, and he's always going to end the meeting asking, how can I help as the leader? Make them state the goal. A stated goal is one step closer to reality. If you're showing up to meetings and the goal is not known, we need to go back to square one and say, where did we miss the mark on explaining the goal? If they know the goal, but they're not able to articulate where they are in relation to the goal, now we have to inspect reality. We don't know where we are. We're on the 15th of the month. We're halfway through our month. What's going on? We need to know where we're at. And then step 3, whether it's a podcast, a book, a resource, maybe for the next week, we have daily accountability. You're going to report to me your activities that get us back on track for goal. And if we do that the next 7 days, then we can kind of pull that aside in our next meeting, and you don't need to keep sending me daily accountability. But for this next week, I need you to do that until we get back on track. So as your leader, how can I help? I'm going to remind you for those numbers to be sent to me if I don't get them by X time. Or maybe I send you an inspirational message each morning to get your mindset going. Or maybe I recommend a book and I read it with you, a chapter in a book, and I read it with you and we digest it in our next sit down. Here's something I don't want you to miss. As your hire is starting to succeed and progress, do not cancel those meetings. Remember, routine and structure is so important for us to be able to hit goal. So if your hire is at or exceeding the goal based on where we are in the month in relation to the 6-month target, let's say, look them in the eye and tell them great job. Ask them what they can do to continue this momentum, and then say, what else would you like to discuss? When I hired you, you talked a lot about how charities and local impact in the community meant a lot to you. Let's dive into that more. Is there a local charity that I can assist you with? Is there a local charity that maybe our organization can donate to? In other words, leaders, hear me on this. The meeting almost becomes their meeting, and you can almost talk about any topic you'd like because they've earned the right to. And you're going to create another form of excitement in your relationship with your employee when it's not just about hitting numbers or making a bonus or making money, when it's actually about meaningful impact. I had somebody that was meeting with me each week, and they really wanted to talk about wealth building. They wanted to talk about how they could get out of debt and start building wealth. And I said to them, well, if we sit down in our monthly meetings, we had moved to a point where this person and I met monthly. I said, the first 30 minutes, we're going to do the 4 steps, right? What's the goal? Where are we in relation to that goal? Knowing that, what do we got to do differently? How can I help? But the next 30 minutes, it's your meeting. Bring any questions you have about wealth building, getting out of debt, maybe how I've succeeded in different ways or things that you've read online or heard. Let's talk about it. And that person did. They brought that to that next meeting and got so much out of that appointment because A, they felt good they were on track, and B, they were able to go home that night and talk to their family about a conversation they had with a leader in their world about wealth building. It wasn't just about their 9-to-5 job. So I promise you, if you do those 3 things, set up a regular cadence with your new hires where you're meeting on a regular basis. Have a clear plan that is broken down what they need to do each month as you get to that 4-month, 5-month, 6-month mark in the new relationship. And then thirdly, have those 4 questions in every single sit down about the goal, where we are in relation to it, knowing the gap, what do we do differently, and how I can help as your leader. When you have those 3 things implemented with your new hire, you'll be amazed at the success and the return on your time and investment of what they'll do for you and your company. If you found value in today's episode, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss a lesson to be the leader that you deserve to be. And until next time, lead on.